Welcome to Cooperators, episode 37. I'm Augmented Biscuits, and with me always is Chuck and Dice.
Hello.
This is our second August show?
No, this would be the first August show.
First August show. First and last. Because
last.
we're going to get canceled.
By the networks.
By the networks. Wait, we don't actually get owned. We're not actually owned by the networks.
All right, then we're back on.
YouTube's going to cancel us.
We've been saved through a...
the miraculous power of love.
Yeah.
And spite. And alcohol. And Castlevania fandom. So welcome. We got a lot of show today. We actually got our movie review. Is this our... no, this is not our first movie review. We have we have talk of the Resident Evil card game, thanks to our Chuck and Dice, who went on location to our local guild hall here.
Guild Hall is a gastropub gaming bar.
Which, by the way, I've been meaning to go because I heard their food's really good.
Yep.
You just told me this 10 minutes ago.
Yep. We'll talk about the food.
And we have the Mega Man X collection that I recently purchased, and I have no idea what else. What else do we have? I think that's it.
Mega Man X.
Oh.
We got a... Let me get rid of the cover here. But we got a bit of news here. This was announced, I think, last Friday or Saturday, maybe? I don't know. It was announced at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention. That's Patrick. That there's going to be a new Star Trek show, and it's going to star Patrick Stewart playing the role of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, a role that he is reprising from the original Next Generation television show and Next Generation, obviously, movies. So it's not Star Trek Discovery. He's not going to be on Star Trek Discovery, which makes sense because Star Trek Discovery takes place like 200 years before him, or at least over 200 years. I don't know. I actually do, but I guess that's good news. There's really nothing much more about this show except for the fact that it's going to star him. And last we left, Jean-Luc Picard was in a movie called Star Trek Nemesis, which wasn't very good. Starred Tom Hardy, as well as his evil twin. On retrospect, all the next gen movies move like weird action films, which, obviously next gen, is known for excitement, but it's not really known for high impact action films. And if you watch it, they're trying to do like Die Hard kind of things in space that I don't feel really works with the franchise. So I don't know what they're going to do with this next show because obviously Discovery has frenetic energy to itself, and it, has more, I guess, kind of that rock and roll action. Somewhat like the newer movies, but, not quite there. But it'll be interesting to see, how Picard evolves. I don't think he's going to be captain of the Enterprise at this point. Also, this will be the first Star Trek show that takes place after Nemesis, which I think is the last thing that we've seen in that sort of timeline. So I think it'll be kind of neat to kind of follow this character. Hopefully it'll be good because I haven't been too impressed with Discovery lately. In fact, I don't really like Discovery that much, except for maybe for like 3 or 4 episodes. I'd rather prefer to watch Orville myself. But I'll check it out. I mean, I'm going to check out the second season of Discovery because they decide to end the season finale with appearance of the USS Enterprise from the, I guess, original series.
Now, let's hope they don't put this behind some kind of BS, like streaming-only channel.
No, they will. It's going to be only on CBS.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like that was what hurt Discovery quite a bit, was that you were only able to get it on a premium streaming platform, and it didn't have it like you had said when you first talked about Discovery. There were so many other shows you didn't really want to watch besides Discovery.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, didn't you watch Taxi?
I did watch Taxi.
Okay,
I watched many episodes of Taxi on the CBS streaming network. If you guys like Taxi, I'd say check it out. But I don't know. Like, I didn't really dig Discovery that much. I'm sure there's like a lot of hardcore fans that really loved it. In my opinion, it was a bit too, I don't know. it just copied a lot of television shows. We talked about this. It copied Game of Thrones. It copied Walking Dead. It tried to copy, just the normal like setup of a show that's today, with characters getting killed in a couple episodes here and there, and you think they're main characters, but they ended up getting offed or whatever. And it kind of strays away from like what Star Trek's all about, and like even I would say even like the Abrams like produced films are more Star Trek than Discovery was. And if you don't agree with that, you can fight me and I will win. But
why are you so angry about Discovery?
Huh? I wish it was good.
I kind of feel like nowadays, I would say even before the Abrams kind of like took over Star Trek, I don't think people really know what to do with Star Trek, honestly.
Well,
I kind of get that sense, like people don't really know what to do with it. Like,
well, Abrams like probably looked at a lot of the original series and he just made it exactly the same, except made it more, I guess, explosive and like watching on screen. Because if you see it, all the color that goes to it, some of the themes, some of the character interaction, it's all from the original series. Everyone wants like next generation style Star Trek, which was perfect for the 90s and like couple years out or years after it, but like I don't think anyone would want to watch that kind of show. I pay my bill. I always pay my bill. Okay, now it's green, so let's wait until it comes back.
So you're saying you said was Star Trek Next Gen a slower type of show?
I mean, yeah, it's slower paced, obviously, but it's it's a product of its time. I don't want to say that it wasn't cinematic. It was cinematic at times, but it's not. Obviously, it doesn't like hold a candle to like a modern day show that you see today. But it's still a good show. It was more introspective. Shows could be about anything, and it just had a really good cast behind it. I feel that like that the Star Trek today, like really bad payoffs. That's the only way I can describe it. A lot of people feel that's what happened to shit. Okay, we're not streaming anymore. Fuck, what the hell happened? All right, it's not. I don't think it's gonna come back.
The hell, YouTube. That's what we get for angering the YouTube gods.
All right, I'm just gonna have to stop the stream. I think at this point. See, it's funny because it's green right now, but it's not streaming at all. It's not streaming at all now. Check that out. Thank you very much. YouTube always likes to remind you, hey, we got new music. I'm like, okay, now it's back. All right, I think we're back now. But in short, Picard's back. Yay. Hopefully the show doesn't suck.
Hopefully you were cerebral the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. You have the Mega Man X collection has arrived on to the Switch.
Yeah. So the Mega Man X collection was released recently as a two-parter. It's Mega Man X Collection 1, which has Mega Man X 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then Mega Man X Collection 2, which has 5 through 8, I believe.
5 through 8? There's 8 of these?
Yeah, there's like 8 of these fucking games. Yeah, it's like 5 through 8, I think. And I will say, this is actually really fun to play these again. I know we talked quite a bit about Mega Man X, when we got our Super Nintendo Mini.
Yeah.
But it was nice going back and playing everything else that was in Mega Man X, like Mega Man X2, Mega Man X3, all the rest of them. I forgot how fucking difficult these goddamn games are. Like, Mega Man X2 is just kicking my ass. The nice thing, though, with this collection is they have the hunter mode or beginner hunter mode. Essentially, they make it easy. You don't take as much damage. There's actually times where damage is negated. That helps a lot because holy crap, these games are difficult. I mean, everything hits really, really hard. I don't know if it's the emulator they're using to run these games or whatever, but there is some slowdown. Also, unfortunately, these games don't. They look okay on a big TV, but you can kind of get around that with the filtering that they have. They have like a CRT TV filtering or like, original spray filtering. One thing I did want to talk about, like, I mean, gameplay's there. I mean, everyone's played a Mega Man game, especially the Mega Man X games. I know you said you never really played the X games.
No, I haven't played them.
Not too many times. I mean, if you're interested in them, they're really fun. There's a lot of, like, especially Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 are really great because they have a lot of, like, secrets and, finding armor and things like that. They also have a boss rush mode, and in addition, they also have this thing called challenge mode, where you can fight like multiple bosses at the same time. But one really cool thing to have is they actually have a lot of kind of bonus features. Like they have a lot of artwork. They have pictures of of merchandise like Mega Man X toys, things like that. They even have like a lot of history behind it. This is similar to the Street Fighter Anniversary collection that came out recently that had 12 Street Fighter games.
Right.
They actually touch upon a lot of the history of Mega Man. I'm actually really impressed with the way the collection's handled. I do think that hopefully they're going to patch it pretty soon because there's sometimes slowdown with these games. There's slowdown, like the gameplay. I really think it's the emulator that's running these games. Like I don't think it's very optimized for the Switch. I've been hearing problems with the collection on PC as well. I think it's just Capcom hasn't optimized, certain versions of the game because this came out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So
so they haven't had any problems.
I haven't heard many problems with the PS4 and Xbox One versions of this, but I am hearing that there's been some like a lot of technical issues with the Switch version and the PC version. And I honestly think it's just Capcom hasn't optimized those versions yet, especially the Switch. There's some weird audio bugs, like the music will cut out here and there. Certain sound effects won't pop, things like that. But
how old are? I mean, like some of these came out of the Super NES, right?
Yeah, these are really old games. I think Mega Man X1 came out like 91.
Oh,
what's it? Yeah, I think 91, I believe, or 92. I really don't remember. One thing I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't include Maverick Hunter X, which was the Mega Man X remake they had on the PSP,
right?
Which I thought was probably a really good version of Mega Man X. I'm really surprised they didn't include that, but they did include the anime video that they created for that Mega Man X the Maverick Hunter X, which was actually a cool it was a cool prologue story of the Mega Man X world and involved Zero.
I watched a little bit of it a while back ago.
Yeah, it's actually really good. But yeah, I would definitely say for those of you who are fans of Mega Man X, I say check this collection out. It's really good. Really depends on the platform you want to get. I've been getting a lot of games on my Switch mainly because of portability. I can play this on the train,
right.
Long car drives, or if my kids want to watch TV, I can just
flip on the Switch.
Yeah, I can just take the Switch out and just play handheld mode. But yeah, it's really good. It holds up really, really well. It plays great. Just remember, these games are fucking hard.
Yeah,
they're very difficult. But they're
Mega Man games, so they have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but the beginner hunter mode is very, very helpful. I actually been kind of just going through the beginner hunter mode because I'm like I'm too old for this shit.
So who's the big bad guy for Mega Man X? I mean, obviously the original one's Dr. Wily, but
yeah, the big bad guy is Sigma.
Right.
A lot of people. A lot of people, I think, I vaguely remember the other Mega Man X games after, I think, 4 or 5. But Sigma's the big bad guy for the entire series. I know there was a story arc for 1, 2, and 3 that was all connected. And I think that's because, if I remember correctly, Capcom was only going to make 3 Mega Man X games. And then because, they were so popular, they continued. So you can actually see an arc a complete story between Mega Man X1, 2, and 3, and then it's kind of like you feel a little. It feels a little tacked on when you get to like 4, 5, and 6. I know Mega Man X, I believe 7 was on like the PS1, and I think 8 was like on the PS2. I believe. I know 8 is like the one no one likes because it's like a 3D version of it, and and people say it plays like shit. But I never played it, so I'm probably gonna check it out. But the collection does retail for $40, $39.99. But if you get on the Switch, you can buy the 2 collections separately. So if you only want one set of games, it's $20. So it's $20 for both, or for each, and then $40 for both. But definitely check it out.
Have you ever seen Mega Man 8, which also came out, I believe, on the PlayStation?
Mega Man 8, yeah. Actually,
do you remember the cutscenes on that?
Vaguely.
Okay, so basically, obviously, it's the PlayStation 1, and they put in these like really well drawn sort of anime style cutscenes. And they look really good. They look really impressive. Unfortunately, when they voiced it over for the U.S., Mega Man sounds like a girl. It's got a very high-pitched voice.
They're really bad.
Yeah, really bad. And Dr. Light pronounces everything like incorrectly. He calls Dr. Wily Dr. Wiwi.
Sounds like they just didn't really put in much effort for the dubs.
It's just like really bad dubbing. It's like he almost sounds like it's been described as like almost like a Rick from Rick and Morty kind of sound. Because like if you listen to the delivery, he even like flubs lines, but they just went with it. They're like,
just keep going.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't have money for this. Just keep going.
Dr. Wiwi, he's going to the city. So that's how he would talk.
So you're saying the guy sounds like Tommy Wiseau?
Pretty much, yeah. It's got a Tommy Wiseau feel to it. It's almost like it's weird. It's like really well animated, but.
Are these on YouTube? Can we just watch these?
These are on YouTube,
back to back. We should just splice them together.
Right.
Just make a movie out of them.
I hear the game's fine. It's just very sort of like the same thing over and over again. But I hear it's not as bad as people think. I mean, the only thing that really kind of pulls it down is that really crappy cutscenes.
I do remember the games. I remember some of those Mega Man games being good. Though. Was it 8? Was it only 8? Wasn't it 7 as well that they released on PS1?
No, 7 came out on the Super Nintendo, and it came out like a couple months after Mega Man X, the first Mega Man X.
Okay.
So people were confused because they thought Mega Man X was like supposed to be like the new Mega Man series, but they decided to come out with a classic Mega Man. But I mean, obviously Mega Man can't do a lot of the stuff that X can do, but they do actually put in a lot of different kinds of like Easter eggs and secrets and stuff like that to make it a more I guess playable game.
Did you ever watch the Mega Man cartoon?
Yes, I did.
Did you ever
fighting robot Mega Man?
Did you ever watch the episode when they introduced X?
No, I didn't. There was an episode they introduced X.
Yeah, they actually introduced X, and what it is Mega Man X comes back in time, and they essentially say that Mega Man X is the future version of Mega Man.
Right.
And he's just a different model. He's like a future model of Mega Man. And he comes back, and he actually comes back and helps out. He teams up with Mega Man to fight the Mavericks, because some of the Mavericks come back too. I guess they come back and they invade the present time for Mega Man, and then X comes back and helps them out. But it's funny because you look at Mega Man and you look at X, and the way they like made them different is Mega Man. So Mega Man seems a bit more kind of early teen,
right? Like
kind of tween, teenager-ish, or really, really young adult, like late teens. And then they show X, and X has like kind of this square jaw and somewhat chiseled facial features.
So he's like older,
and he's bigger, and so he's like a more adult version of Mega Man.
Right.
And he's like a deeper voice, but it's really, really bizarre because he's like a future version of him. But what's cool is that they actually brought back, they actually used the Maverick robots from Mega Man X1. Like they had, Spark Mandrill and like Chill Penguin, and they had Vile, which Vile was always like a really cool character, I think, in the series. Like he wasn't really aligned with Sigma. He just had his own agenda. He just wanted to basically kill Mega Man and kill Zero. But he was really cool because he looked like Boba Fett anyway. So, but yeah, it was really bizarre. I was surprised how well it went together. They introduced X into the Mega Man cartoon, even though The Mega Man cartoon was really lighthearted, and
Oh yeah, it was extremely lighthearted.
Yeah,
I was
and
really disappointed when I watched it.
if you honestly play Mega Man, when you play the Mega Man games, the Mega Man X games, or the Mega Man X games, when you play them, they can get kind of dark.
Yeah, well, I hear the Mega Man X games are that they're more, I guess, a bit more mature, whereas the Mega Man games are very. It says here's the good guy, here's the bad guy. Go fight.
Yeah, like the Mega Man, like especially Mega Man X1. I mean, I know Mega Man X1 on like the back of my hand. I mean, and even playing Mega Man X2, there's a lot of heaviness to some of it. Especially the ending of Mega Man X1 where you find out that Dr. Light's like, I wanted you to be, he's like, oh, I didn't want you to fight, but unfortunately the world doesn't let you make a choice like that. So, and it's like kind of really heavy shit there.
Well, it's like that one, like, remember when Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon came out, and like the first version was like this Ren and Stimpy like knockoff.
Yeah.
And then they had this other Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon which had like an apocalyptic future.
Yeah.
There was like a cyborg, chick with Rogue's voice.
Yeah, and then Dr. Robotnik was turning all the animals into robots, and like was it Sonic's uncle?
Yeah.
Who was like a robot, and Sonic basically was trying to beat Dr. Robotnik so he can restore his uncle to like an actual like organic.
Right.
Something
like that.
I know it ended on some kind of cliffhanger. I think they ended up killing Dr. Robotnik or something like that, or like he gets turned into a machine by his own like creation or something like that, and they show some kind of like shadow, they show some kind of like enemy in the shadow, and everyone thought it was Knuckles. It was really weird.
Yeah, all the furries like that show.
Yeah,
that show
of course
sucks. They do. All right, let's move on here. You watched a movie not too long ago, and it was Teen Titans Go, the movie. So if you guys don't know, Teen Titans Go is like Teen Titans the cartoon, except it's more of like a just more for a younger audience. I remember when it came out, my nieces loved it, and it was like one of the few shows I could watch with them because I can't stand Wonder Pets. But when this came on, I was just like, oh, this is something I can watch because it's Teen Titans, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I know a bunch of people who are like, why can't they just do it like the normal Teen Titans show? And it's like, well, it's because
I want to address those people right now. Actually, those people are morons. I'm gonna say it right now. Those people really like. I understand the original incarnation of the Teen Titans cartoon was great,
right? Because
it did a good job of balancing out, humor with some kind of heavier storylines.
Yeah.
And I will say it was a great show. It was
on for like 5 or 6 seasons. Like you don't really need to do more than that.
It was really good, and it was actually a really good kind of successor to Batman the Animated Series and Superman. It was actually really it was a very, very well done show. And even that led to Young Justice. Well, I actually really like Young Justice.
Young Justice was really good too.
It was really good. And I know a lot of people hated the fact that when they brought Teen Titans back, it wasn't that show that they brought back. They brought back more of a kind of, I would say, a Teen Titans show geared more towards kids and kids with ADHD or ADD, or kids who are on the spectrum. Which the only reason why I say that is because my son loves this goddamn show.
Yeah, like I said, my nieces love it too. So
yeah, and my son would talk like Beast Boy all the time.
Really?
Now, for all those people who are saying that they hate the fact that they made this, I would like to know if they ever actually sat down and watched this show, because a lot of the newer Teen Titan Go is actually really, really funny. I will say, it's a lot more lighthearted. It's more about just kind of goofing off and being friends and stuff. But the movie is fucking awesome.
Right.
For the people who hate the fact that they don't want to support this because it's not the Teen Titans movie that they wanted and it's not the original incarnation,
well,
I would say
they can always get the DC Universe, what's it called, streaming channel, and then watch that Teen Titans where Robin says "fuck Batman"
and he shoots everyone in the face.
And he shoots everyone in the face.
Breaks some dude's face.
Yeah, people are complaining about that too.
Yeah,
which I'm not gonna watch it. I don't know.
I really hope that they don't lock Young Justice Season 3 behind that thing, but it looks like they're going to.
Yeah.
But getting back to this movie, it was fucking hilarious. This was like this. Unfortunately, it didn't do very well, which makes me sad because I really, really love this movie. Right. My son loved this movie, and it was actually a really great. I'm really glad I took my son to watch this because we both had a fucking awesome time watching this. There was a few jokes there where parents in the audience, we all kind of laugh, but it was the funny uh-oh
Right.
and the funny oh. There's a lot of funny haha, and there's a lot of kind of it's weird. When it first starts off, it really has this juvenile humor, and you're like, you kind of roll your eyes a little bit, and you're like, oh, they're gonna do this, but they really don't. They actually, as the movie goes on, their jokes just get better and smarter and like really, really great. Will Arnett as Slade in the movie is fucking great.
Yeah, I saw the trailer where they like oh, you're Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Deadpool, when he was originally conceived, was based on Deathstroke, which is Slade.
And that entire conversation, that entire thing you just said, he says that in the movie.
Oh, really?
Like,
yeah.
He's like, no, like I existed before Deadpool. It's funny because every time they introduce Slade to a new person in the movie, everyone's like, oh, hey, Deadpool, and he gets so pissed off. There's a really, really good really good riff on Batman v Superman, and there's a really fucking I feel like this joke is almost it's worth just for the price of admission to watch the show. There's a joke involving Batman's origin, which is like the adults in the movie, we all just could not stop laughing. Right. I mean, kids laugh, but we just couldn't stop laughing how well they did this. Also, Nicolas Cage as Superman is great.
Oh, Nick Cage. They actually had him voice Superman?
Yes,
that's
he
awesome.
voiced Superman, which is fucking awesome. It's great. It's like the funniest shit ever. I mean, I can't. I love this movie so much. I actually do want to go watch it again because there's a lot of. I think you would actually enjoy this quite a bit because there's a lot of. It's definitely one of those movies that's very layered, and there's a lot of inside jokes.
Almost
and
has like a Lego movie kind of humor.
It does, and there's a lot of DC references that you would actually really love. There's a lot of layers to this. I mean, overall, I think the story of the movie is great. It's a little kind of it's a little predictable, but they do a very good job of things not getting tiring. You look at a movie like this and you kind of think you're eating nothing but, cotton candy, but it's actually more of a very well cooked creme brulee where you can enjoy it throughout.
What's the overall plot? I mean, without
overall,
spoiling it, I guess.
Just slight spoilers. Overall plot is that they want to make a movie, really more Robin. The Teen Titans are considered actual heroes. They're considered sidekicks in the movie. Yeah. And all the superheroes in the movie, like all the superheroes in that world have their own movie. So Robin thinks in order for him to be considered to be an actual superhero, he needs to get a movie made of himself. And that's really the plot of the movie is Robin's trying to get a movie made of himself. But it's great. I would love to go watch this again. Right. I actually highly recommend it. I especially recommend it for those who love the Teen Titans TV show, like the original.
Like and Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, but the other Teen Titans.
Yeah, if you like the first iteration of Teen Titans, I would say still check this out. If you couldn't stand Teen Titans Go, like the show, give the movie a chance. You will like it quite a bit. I'm also not a big fan of musical numbers, but they have a few musical numbers in there were actually pretty great.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me when Mask of the Phantasm was released in select theaters. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that did too well either, it didn't really meant to do well. They just wanted to try it out.
Yeah. Actually, Ebert loved it.
Yeah, he loved that Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, he thought it was great. Yeah. He was so surprised because he said he didn't really care for cartoons, but he thought it was a great movie.
Yeah. And I think overall, when a television an animated series comes out with a movie, it's really hard for it to do really extremely well in theaters. So, for example, Transformers the movie when that came out, the animated one, it's a cult classic, obviously. But when it came out, it didn't really make too much money. A lot of people say, well, it came out at the same time as Aliens and all these other great films. But I think most of it is that it kind of pointed towards one audience, and that was at the time when I was a child. Yeah, I wanted to go see it. The other one being I think Star Wars, I guess it was Star Wars Clone Wars, but it was sort of the movie was essentially the pilot. Whatever.
Yeah, I actually saw that. I saw that in the movie theater. Yeah. I actually didn't think it was that bad.
Right. I didn't really dig it that much.
It was okay.
I think that show got better through years. Of,
Yeah.
And it's coming back, by the way.
Did you ever watch the show?
Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. I never actually sat down.
I never finished it though. So
yeah, I never sat down and watched it, but everyone keeps telling me it's good. I think my problem with
the later episodes are better.
Okay, and that thing that I was gonna say, the problem with me trying to go back and watch that is there's a lot of filler.
There is, like, I would say the first 2 seasons you don't need to really watch them because like you already know how it starts and obviously you know how it ends. But I think all the character build happens like in season 3 through I think 5. Is it 5 or 4? I can't remember. But yeah, I guess they had some more plans for that show, but obviously it got canceled, and now it's coming back.
Yeah, now it's coming back.
Now it's coming back because they have to appease the fanboys that turned their back at the franchise.
The Disney gods too.
The Disney gods as well.
So I would love for all of you to support this movie because this movie is great. I really do agree with you though. I think this is definitely going to go down as a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be one of those movies where people didn't give it a chance. And I think a few years later, or once it comes out on home release, I think it might do really, really well. I feel like this, like you said, this is going to be one of those. This is very much, if you like the Lego movies, if you like any of the Lego movies, Lego Movie or like the Ninjago or even if you like the Lego Batman movie, you would love this. This is fucking great.
Did they incorporate waffles?
Yes, they actually did.
See, that's one of my favorite episodes.
They incorporated
waffle.
They incorporated waffles. They incorporated meatballs. They incorporated Alfred very well. I mean, this movie's great. I would say check it out. Please support this movie because this movie's hilarious.
Yeah, the art style reminds me of the old Cartoon Network. I guess it's the same art style of the show, but kind of reminds me of like Powder Puff Girls and Johnny Bravo and stuff like that.
They do actually. They have quite a few different art styles throughout the movie. And I know I didn't stay for this because my kid really can't sit through a lot.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to get out of there too because I wanted to get home before.
Oh, is there a post-credit scene?
There's a post-credit scene, and I read about it, and I actually regret not staying for it.
Right.
Because it's actually they throw a bone to those old Teen Titan cartoon fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would actually love to go watch this again. But definitely check this out.
Right. Stan Lee's in it.
Stan Lee's in it, and Stan Lee is fucking hilarious in this. Definitely check it out.
Hopefully he's not suffering from elder abuse.
No, unfortunately, hopefully not. Yeah, I would say check it out. And if you have kids, especially if you had kids who love the show, they would love this.
It's a kids movie that an adult can enjoy and a kid can enjoy.
And I really think
not a comic book collector who's been collecting Teen Titans for years apparently.
Okay, look, comic book collectors who stick their nose up at this fucking movie are morons. All right, they would enjoy this movie.
All right.
People who aren't fucking snobs should go watch this movie.
Well, this kind of reminds me because I'm a huge fan of the Batman Adam West show. I think the show's hilarious.
Yeah.
And like I enjoyed it as a kid, and I can enjoy it in different levels as an adult because it has that super cheesy way of delivering everything that's involved in that show. But people who are like major Batman fans like do not want to see that show. They want it to be wiped out of existence. But like it's part of its history though.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I know that Batman's not that silly. He doesn't carry a bomb and says sometimes you can't get rid of a bomb, and he doesn't have shark repellent. He should. But like it got me into the entire comic books and like just superhero scene. If not for that show, I don't think I would be into it as much as I am. But yeah, I realize that it's a product of its time. It's really silly, but to me, it's really entertaining still.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I actually remember watching that when I was younger as well. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought some of the stuff was silly, like as all hell.
Right.
Especially the cliffhangers. Like it was a cliffhanger, but then they immediately showed the next episode right after, and it was like, great, I don't have to wait. You know, the thing with the bomb when he's trying to get rid of the bomb.
Yeah, that's from the movie.
He keeps running into people like
a marching band.
It is like a bunch of nuns, right?
Yeah,
like one of them was like a bunch of nuns.
He's about to throw it over the dock, but there's like 2 people kissing, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I always love also like the huge set pieces they had in that show. I mean, for a show that really didn't have much of a budget, it had some really cool sets.
It did. It did have like a lot of.
Oh, it did.
Well, in terms of budget, no, I don't think it had a huge budget.
But it had a lot of really cool props.
It had like, I think it was just visually impressive because this was during a time where, you know, CG didn't exist and stuff like that, so they could actually go to places and just like, you know, film the entire show.
Yeah, I think didn't they film the exit of the Batcave where he comes out with the cars?
Yeah.
Isn't that Griffith? That's Griffith Park, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a little location at Griffith Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted the bat poles down.
Oh yeah, to come down and all of a sudden you're in the full suit, the clothing.
When I was younger, I was like, how do they do that? But yeah, I would say definitely check it out, especially if you have kids or even if you're a comics fan and just want to see a bunch of DC comic
I mean,
it's great.
It's obviously it's supposed to be a sillier version. It's supposed to be a lighthearted version. Comic books have done that. They've done lighthearted issues before, so
it does get it.
It's like when I found a lighthearted issue of Iron Man or whatever, I didn't like say, "Oh, this sucks." Like the quality has gone down. I just enjoyed for what it is, and then the next issue we're back to the sort of like not grimdark, but like these everyday Iron Man adventure, I guess.
Tony Stark addicted to alcohol.
Yeah, Tony Stark addicted to alcohol. But there's like issues where there was one issue where it shows how he got his like secretary, and he was just interviewing all these like women to be his secretary. They're all hot except for this one named Miss Orbagast, who is like an older woman. And basically what happens is Iron Man suddenly gets to a fight with this villain called Whirlwind, and it happens during Miss Orbagast's like interview, and she's like trying to grab all the papers and put them in all in order, and then like the phone keeps on ringing and she keeps on answering it, and it's like, I'm sorry, Stark's not here. And then like Whirlwind's like fighting Iron Man. He's finding out that this is tougher than he expected, so he like grabs Miss Orbagast, and she like hands him the phone. He's like, actually, it's for you. And then Whirlwind just kind of grabs it and says hello, and that's when Iron Man just punches him out because he's distracted. Like, I love that story. I think
that's
it's
actually
like
great.
It's a great story.
That's actually a great story.
And then like that's when Tony Stark comes back in, because that's when he had this secret identity. He's like, look, you're already doing the job. You're hired. And that's how he had probably his greatest secretary.
Or like that story I read about how Luke Cage fucking beat up Dr. Doom
for $200.
For $200.
Yeah.
Fucking Dr. Doom. You never fuck with Luke Cage.
No,
especially his money.
Yeah. Now he's the Godfather, apparently. Spoiler alert. I did see the last episode of Cage.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was great.
It was great,
It
right?
reminded me of Godfather. I thought it was great, and I liked how like he had this sort of moral ground that he needed to cross. But check out Teen Titans Go, the movie. I think I'll check it out maybe when it hits video or so. So yeah. So let's move on. So I had an opportunity to head over to this place called the Guild Hall. This is located in Victory and Hollywood Way. It used to be a bar called The Office, and before that, it used to be called the Blue Chip. I remember going to the Blue Chip, and it used to be this really divey bar. The owner, I wouldn't say owner or person who works there, we would actually go down there and get drinks because I had a friend who lived like directly next to it. And he would just get high and say, "Hey guys, we're closing, but you can just hang out. I'm just gonna hang out for a while," and then then he would go toke up. So later on, it got turned into The Office, which became it was just like a normal bar. We've been to it.
Yeah, Tiny Dinosaurs and I actually had a really bad experience with one of the bartenders there. Yeah. She was talking to a regular. Yeah. And I guess it was her friend. She was complaining about how she went to go interview at the bar that was down the street called the Hollywood Way. Yeah. And she was talking to him, and she was complaining how she was like interviewing with them, and then how like the owner of that bar wanted her to start dressing like skimpier because they were getting Hollywood Way bar was getting more business because their waitresses and bartenders were dressing skimpy, and it was like this big conversation she was having, but she was also on the job. Like she was bartending. She was the only bartender at the bar, and
you guys weren't getting your drinks.
Yeah, the Tiny Dinosaurs were right at the bar, and we're sitting there, and we're just like, okay, so we finished our drinks, and then like, I'm trying to call her over, and she's like not paying attention, and so finally, Tiny Dinosaurs gets up and like goes direct to her, and is like, hey, can we get a refill? And she looked at him. She's like, calm down, bro. Like, I'm going to go, like, give you some service. And he just kind of, like, scoffed at her and was like, well, you're talking to your friend. Like, you're the only bartender here. Like, what do you want us to do?
Right.
So we're kind of glad they actually got.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of the office. We had a Christmas party there. The bar's whatever.
Yeah, their service was horrible.
It was always packed too.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah,
probably because it's like one of the few bars that's around there.
Well, if you go down Hollywood Way, there's a bar down there, and then if you go down Burbank, there's
there's like two
a
other
park. And then, just if you get on Magnolia, there's that's Tony's Darts Away over there. And there's like a whole bunch of bars on Magnolia. So.
Yeah, and Tin Horns and all that shit.
But, Tin Horns, Jesus.
We don't talk about Tin Horns.
So Guildhall, basically, what their gimmick is that it's, since it's called Guildhall, it's a gaming bar. And that means you can play, they have a whole, they have drinks. You can get mixed drinks, and they're named after kind of like nerd things. I think one of them's called what the hell did I have?
Please shower.
I don't. No, it was like it's called.
Do they have a drink that says "Please shower"? Don't smell like fucking.
No, one of them was like named after a Final Fantasy kind of like Chocobo or not Chocobo, something else. They have food there, so it's kind of similar to the one up, except I feel that the food is a lot better there because it's a bit more basic. It doesn't try to create like chicken wings with like cornflakes,
which were fucking raw, by the way.
Yeah, which was
fucking one up.
But these are just like it's like chicken fingers.
Do they do a better job of incorporating kind of like the video, like kind of nerd and geek culture?
Yeah. So instead of playing sports, which every bar does.
Yeah.
This place plays like Twitch streamers. And I guess some of the monitors are devoted to mobile games as well, so that you can actually hook up with your mobile phone and play some like weird game that's in the bar. But like one of the things that I noticed is that they had Twitch streamers playing Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching all this like this person go through this Mario Maker sort of level that someone made, and like it's like pretty devious. Like if you go up one path, it's dead end, and then like the person has to die. Basically.
I actually know a streamer. He actually recently got into streaming probably a few years ago. I actually used to work with him, but he frequents his bar because he works down the street. And he actually he streams, and one of the games he streams is actually Mario Maker, but he's always going to this bar because one of his favorite streamers, and he's actually knows this guy in real life. He's kind of like he's a very well-known streamer, and he's actually one of the guys they put on quite a bit at this bar, the Guildhall. But yeah, he's been there a lot, and he loves it because it's all esports.
It's all esports, and then there's like board games and tabletop games. They have a huge collection. You just need to like grab them off the shelf, and you can start playing. Now, some of those games, like one of them's Arkham Horror, and a lot of I saw Battlestar Galactica there. I saw Dark Crystal, the board game there. Those are games that you actually have to like sit down and read the rules, and it's going to take you a little bit to learn how to play.
Do they charge for?
No, that's the thing. They don't charge for it, and that's one of the things why I like it is because we've been to geeky teas and games, and we've been to, or at least I've been to Emerald Knight. Those places charge you for a table. Here, it's a bar, so they say basically if you're going to order something, you're going to have to order something to be there. So whether it be food or drink.
Yeah.
Obviously, I ordered quite a bit of drinks. But yeah, you can play any kind of like tabletop game. They even have Cards Against Humanity for you guys who play shitty games.
Oh my god, I think
it is like a massive it's not like it's like the deluxe version too.
It's not like fucking Tony Darts Away where like their board games was like an afterthought. They're like, oh, let's just throw some board games. It's like
here's Clue.
It's like 4 fucking board games, and they're all missing pieces, and like as soon as someone walks in, everyone takes them all. Like there was one time we went to Tony Darts Away, and I shit you not, there was a table. They took all 4 board games that were there.
Right.
They took them all, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play them all."
Right.
And we're like, "You're gonna play them all now? Like, you can't fucking just give us like one of them."
Yeah, and you can bring in your own games. Like I saw people bring in like they're playing Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or one of those card games. Obviously, when I went, I brought the Dungeoneer game and the Resident Evil card game, which we'll talk about later. And we also brought the Sword Art online game. They're fine with it, and like as long as you order something there, don't just take up space. And we noticed that like it doesn't really get busy after after meal times. Like, I mean, it's still busy, but tables will open up because some people just come in here just to eat food, which kind of leads me to this story. So I was there with Tiny Dinosaurs and Tiny Dinosaurs' roommate. We were playing the Dungeoneer game that, like, I developed the co-op rules for. That's what we talked about that last podcast. And we noticed that there's this couple, and like Tiny Dinosaurs described, they were either really comfortable with each other or this was their first date, and they don't really want to talk to each other. But they were just sitting there eating their like individual meals, which were very like small meals because it's kind of gastropubby. And like the woman was just kind of looking at us playing, while the guy was just kind of just like blindly just eating his hamburger or whatever. And they did not say a single word to each other this entire time.
That looks really
awkward. I think maybe they thought this like guild hall was just a normal bar, but they didn't take account that this was a gaming bar. They didn't even go, after they were done eating, they didn't go grab a game or anything. They just kind of like, okay, let's go. And then they left.
So you think they were completely out of their element?
I think they were kind of out of their element. I mean, obviously this is a bar catered towards a certain crowd. And it's not unless the other person likes to play games.
Well, didn't you say she was kind of eyeing you guys?
She was eyeing our game because I was like sitting there trying to explain how the game works and stuff. And as we were playing it, it had this very Dungeons and Dragons flavor, and like me, Tiny Dinosaurs, his roommate, we were having a good time. Also, we were drinking.
She probably wanted to have a good time as well.
Yeah, she probably did. She probably wanted to have fun, and this guy was like, "Nope, I thought there were just going to be sports here." That's also it's really, and this is. At that same time, I was like sitting there. Tiny Dinosaurs brought a game called The Thing. Basically, it's based on John Carpenter's The Thing. And I was kind of looking through the rules. By the way, you can't play that with less than 4 people. And there's this girl who was just sitting at this other table. I'm sorry, there's this guy. I think he was from Australia. He looked at it and said, "Hey, that's a good game." And like, he's like, "Oh, you played it?" It's like, "Yeah, but I don't think you can play it without, you have to play it with at least 4 people." And I was just like, "Oh crap, there's only 3 of us." And then the girl was like, "Have you seen that movie?" I'm like, and I kind of looked at it jokingly, "Movie? Oh, this is not based on The Thing from the Fantastic Four?" I said it like that, and she's like, "No, it's a John Carpenter movie," and she started to,
give you shit?
Well, no, she was mansplaining the John Carpenter's The Thing to me, and I'm like, no, I've actually, and he's like, it starred Kurt Russell, it was by John Carpenter, has music from Ennio Morricone, and like I know all this stuff. I was just kind of kidding. I've seen the movie.
You're like, relax.
Yeah, relax. But moving on to like what like food they serve there. Right now, I have this image. This is their popcorn. It's seasoned with like sort of an herb-like seasoning, but it's actually cooked in duck fat, which became an impasse for Tiny Dinosaurs' wife, Thought Otter, because she's vegetarian.
Did she have some before she knew?
No. She knew that it had duck fat, but it's really good. Like
Why aren't we going now?
Because I'm on a dumb diet that I can only eat potatoes.
You can get potatoes there, man. Come on.
Yeah, but it's deep fried.
I know. I just ate and I still want to go there.
Yeah, and like their potato chips actually are really good too. Here it is, like served with like a special sauce, but like like the food there. These 2 snack foods are awesome.
You said the popcorn and the chips?
Yeah, the popcorn and the chips are awesome.
What's the dip in the chip?
I don't know what kind of. We usually get ranch sauce, but I think that's like a Thousand Island style, almost like Big Mac style. But you can actually get the chips like sprinkled with buffalo seasoning, which is awesome. It tastes really good.
So where are we going now? Why aren't we getting the pretzel money?
Because dumb diet. But yeah, I mean, it's a great place. The people who work there are awesome. They're actually very nice. In contrast to the office and the blue chip, which was just a guy who was just getting stoned.
I mean, honestly, though, we had our own bar. We probably did the same thing.
Right.
How do they do? Do they have any on-site security in case like you get a nerd who gets like too rowdy or too touchy-feely with like a female who's there?
I don't know. I don't think that. I mean, it didn't really occur to me that place has that problem. It's got as much security as any other bar that I've been to. I mean, Tony Darts Away doesn't have a security guard, and neither does the park. They do have like people in the kitchen, and then they have the bartender who looks like a hipster, nice guy, and then the girl working behind the bar. So I mean, if someone does get touchy-feely, they'll probably just report it to a person at the bar, and they'll get hopefully one of the cooks are like those 6-foot cooks that come out. And
those big Mexican guys who look like Danny Trejo. They just come in, they're like, "What the fuck's your problem?"
They pick them up and you get out. This bar is for bikers and truckers only.
I love that scene.
Yeah, me too.
I love how he pours that shot and he drinks it.
And he drinks it.
Yeah.
And, you got any food here? Best in Mexico. I sincerely doubt that.
So this actually sounds great. Because I know you and I have talked about how we're sick of going to bars where it's like nothing
just
but
sports. And then now we have a place to go to that's beyond sports and more in tune to things that we like. The menu is a little expensive. I'd say it's comparable to how the 1-Up drinks were sold. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe the 1-Up actually did mixed drinks. I don't remember, though. Tonberry, that's the drink I had, the Tonberry, which is this little lizard animal from Final Fantasy. It was good, though.
The Tonberry, I think, is no, that's a cactar.
Yeah, cactar is the cactus.
Which
thing.
one's a ton? I don't even remember the
It's like a lizard with like a cloak on, and he has like a lamp and a small sword.
Oh,
and like
okay.
if you find him in 8, I think he's really hard, but if you get him, he's a real useful guardian force.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 8, the best Final Fantasy.
The best Final Fantasy ever. Fight us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's just a real fun atmosphere. I really loved it. I want to go again after I'm done with this dumb diet.
Call me up so I can remember this time to go.
Yeah.
I was actually supposed to make it. Chuck and Dice invited me.
Yeah.
And that was actually not a very fun night at work for me. So when I took the train home, I completely just blanked and went straight home. And right when I got home, that's when I had remembered. Actually, I got home and I went straight to my bed. And right when I got into bed, I was like, oh, fuck, I was supposed to go out tonight. Yeah.
Well, but there'll be other times. I mean, I think Tiny Dinosaurs doesn't work all this month.
Yeah, he doesn't start. I think he's
in Lake Tahoe right now.
Okay.
Yeah, along with Thought Otter, aka Pastel Kitty, aka Thought Otter. I don't know.
So yeah, well, yeah, definitely I should definitely try to make it next time.
Right.
I'll bring that Rick and Morty game.
They actually have it there.
Do they?
Which one?
The Total Rick Call.
Oh, they don't have that one. They have the other one, the Anatomy Park.
Oh, I didn't play that one. Have you played that one?
I have it, but I haven't read the rules yet.
Okay. We had a lot of fun with Total Recall one.
Yeah. Oh, I love Total Recall.
That one was great.
Yeah. It's a co-op game. Speaking of co-op deck building games, one of the games we did play at the Guild Hall is the Resident Evil card game. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I had a lot of fun playing it. This is when I went with both Tiny Dinosaurs and Thought Otter, and we said let's play a fast game, and I remember the Resident Evil card game being a fast game, and so did Tiny Dinosaurs. So he suggested it. It was created by Bandai, which is weird because I thought they were Capcom's competition at one point.
Bandai. It's weird. I think they have different divisions.
Right.
So I think Bandai will take on some of because Capcom doesn't really have a division to make, toys
and stuff,
or toys or card games and things like that. They farm that out to somebody else. So Bandai will they'll talk to Bandai, whoever the fuck. There's a few companies who are like that. They don't have their own division, so they rather just, farm it out to somebody to do it for them, or who are better at doing these things.
As I recall, I think Bandai also is that a Korean company or is that Japanese?
Bandai, I believe. I thought it was Chinese.
Chinese? Okay.
No, let me look it up. No, I think you're right. I think it might be it's either a Japanese or Korean company.
Yeah, because I think Bandai was the one who released Nintendo in Korea before it was allowed to be in there.
It's a Japanese.
Oh, it's
company.
a Japanese
company.
company.
It's a
Okay.
Japanese company.
All right. So moving on, Resident Evil, the deck building card game. That's what it's officially called, created by Bandai.
We actually played this a while ago.
Yeah, we played this a while ago, and we revisited the game. So let me just get in here. So the game is set up. Basically, you have this grid of cards, which is the store. They're all face up all the cards have a price range to them. You actually have individual small decks of, I think, 10 cards that starts out with ammo and gold, which are basically the same card. So you have like a card that has 10 ammo and 10 gold on it. And then you start out with a pistol, like obviously, and a couple knives that doesn't use up ammo. So the idea of this game is that you have to build your arsenal, and then when you build your arsenal enough, you can actually venture into the mansion. And your goal is to basically take down a boss monster, which, I think the two that I have is Tyrant 002, which is the end boss from the first Resident Evil game. And the other one is Albert Wesker from Resident Evil 5. Basically, this entire game encompasses Resident Evil 1 through 5 and all their spin-offs, with the exception, I think, of one of the Gun Survivor games. Which is kind of cool because, you basically can choose a character, whether it be Leon Kennedy or Claire Redfield or anyone from Resident Evil Outbreak. You can be Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and there's like different iterations of them as well. You can be Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 5, or you can be Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3, which is kind of neat because they both are different. Like I think Jill Valentine is like enhanced.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 5 one is enhanced.
Yeah, whereas the third, the one from 3 obviously is normal. They all have special abilities, and if you like kill a bunch of like zombies or monsters in the mansion, you can actually level up and earn more special abilities. I think you do that twice. So the idea is that you're paying in gold to buy different cards. Here are the characters right here. I think it's pretty cool because like most card games, when you play card games, it's always a strategic battle game where you control armies of characters fighting each other and whatnot. And like I could name a dozen, like not dozens and dozens of like card games that do that, like Pokemon, for example, or Magic the Gathering, or Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously. But like it, to a point like that becomes sort of stale. And in Resident Evil, you just control a character, and sometimes you can control a partner, much like in I guess Resident Evil 5 or 0, where you can control two characters. So these are the different monsters that you get to fight in the mansion. They all come from the video games, and they're all derived from the artwork that was used to create the game monsters in video games. So it's kind of cool because you have this sort of cool like just collection of artwork that you never got to see while you were playing the video game. Each of them have a attack value and a defense value, and they also have a point value if you kill them. You can collect different weapons, and the idea is that like when you play ammo cards, you can play weapon. You basically have to play all your cards in your hand because you're gonna like basically discard all of it anyways. So instead of like attaching a gun to like Leon Kennedy and he shoots it and he just uses it every turn, what you have to do is that you have to put down all your ammo cards, which also are your gold cards, and like if you have 30 ammo altogether, you can play any gun that uses 30 ammo or less and use it to help damage whatever's in the mansion. So if you had one gun that used 30 ammo, a second gun that used 20 ammo, and another gun that used 30 ammo, you can play all three guns and total up their damage. And then you would use that damage to attack whatever was in the mansion, which you have to flip over, and it's all random. So you just have to hope that like your guns do enough damage to whatever's coming up next.
Yeah. I know we played this with a friend of ours, and he got like a bunch of really good weapons. Like, he got the rocket launcher. Yeah. He got like a shotgun. Yeah. I think he actually got a bunch of really good weapons. Like, I think he also got the Magnum. Yeah. It was similar to when we played Arkham Horror with my wife, and she got like
she became Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah, she got like the magical sword and like a Tommy gun and like a fucking magic chalice or some shit.
And like we got like like food and I think liquor.
Yeah.
Like if we go hungry and we want to get wasted, we can do that. But then if you want to fight monsters, your wife's gonna have to do all the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has like a lot of crazy guns. Obviously, they're all from the game. They range from the rocket launcher, the shotgun, to the special shotgun from Resident Evil 4 like it's after the right. I kind of forgot what it was called, but it looks like almost like a Tommy gun.
Oh yeah.
I love that gun.
Yeah, it's like the SWAT shotgun.
Yeah.
Like a drum of like.
Yeah, the drum. I love that thing. I've
and
been playing Resident Evil 4 lately, so
I actually started playing too. Yeah. I'm actually. That's one of the games I wish they would port to the Switch because I would love to play that on the go.
Oh yeah, me too.
And this game is co-op, right? Like you're all working together to destroy these things in the mansion, right?
Yeah, there are different versions of this game where it can be co-op or versus or mercenary mode. But the more fun way to do is co-op because it's kind of cool to kind of like strategize with other people. But in the end, because the monsters have value, these are the different action cards that you can also use as well. And they'll improve your hand size or how many actions you can take, or they even will give you gold or more ammo because it's all about the gold and ammo. But anyways, you can do co-op, and you can basically play and work together to like stop the monsters in the mansion. But in the end, you can total up how many monsters you killed, and the person who killed the most like wins the game, essentially. You're working with each other, but you're also saying, well, I'm going to try and kill as many monsters as possible and hopefully, be the champion monster hunter. But yeah, I mean, like, you want to try and kill the boss, and the boss is always going to be like 90 health, and that's really hard to do. You can't do that with a pistol and knife. You can't do that speed run where you kill Nemesis with a knife. Although I've seen that, and it looks really cool. Props to you if you can do that, because I can't.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time playing that game on fucking hard.
Me too.
I always play Resident Evil 3 on easy. I never play it on hard. It's so fucking difficult.
I think I was trying to play it on normal, because I used to be able to beat Resident Evil 2 on normal. Like, now I just don't have the patience, so I just put in the infinite ammo code. Mm-hmm. I still die, because it's infinite ammo just, like, doesn't really save you unless you get the Magnum.
Yeah. Or if you're clearing, you get the submachine gun, and you just mow everything down.
Everything down.
Yeah.
Or what's it called? The chain gun.
Yeah.
I'm playing Resident Evil 4, and like there's no easy mode. It's just normal. But you can also save up money and buy a rocket launcher. Just recently I had to fight 2 giants, and like there's one you can like put into a pit of like lava, and the other one you have to kind of kill normal. So what I did was like I bought a rocket launcher and just killed the other one.
Yeah.
Which you could do in this game too. You can fight giants in this. You can get a rocket launcher and you can use it to face the big baddie at the end. This game's really good. Like, it's very fast paced. Although if you play with the standard rules, it can kind of get bogged down because no one can go to the mansion and face things. So, like, one of the things I suggest is that in terms of, like, buying stuff, you just increase the amount of times amount of things that you can buy by 2. So you can buy, once and then buy something else again. And you have a gold rank. So, like, if you have 70 gold, you can buy anything that's 70 gold or less. You can't buy 30 of this and 30 of that. But if you're doing the second buy thing, you just say, well, I can buy 70 gold of this, and now I can do a second buy. I can do another 70 gold of something else. So you essentially get 2 cards to put in your deck. The other thing I would suggest is that they say to use 5 cards. I would increase that hand size to 7 to make it go a lot faster.
Yeah.
And then you basically get this game that's very similar to Resident Evil 4 and up. You're not going to get the horror survival element, I guess.
You get more of the action.
Yeah, you're going to get more of the action element.
Yeah.
It's much more fun that way. It's like mercenary mode.
Which is the one thing which really pissed me off about Resident Evil. I really like Resident Evil Outbreak, the 2 games.
Yeah.
But what pisses me off is I wish Capcom would just give us a fucking online Resident Evil game.
Like a co-op game?
Yes, just a co-op fucking Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
Like,
they did with Resident Evil 5 and 6, right?
Which Resident Evil 5 was great.
Or 5,
Resident Evil 6 was whatever.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 5 was great, but I know a lot of people complained about Resident Evil 5 for whatever reason. Same thing they complained about fucking Dead Space.
Yeah.
But just give me a fucking online co-op Resident Evil game.
Yeah, I
want
want
just make everything a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Because it would feel so much more satisfying for you to be like, you're Chris Redfield, you're Jill Valentine, you're fucking Leon, and like, you're Claire Redfield, and you all go into a fucking huge like underground laboratory and you're just blowing shit away.
They call it Resident Evil Harmony of Despair.
Exactly. That was fucking great.
That was a great game.
That was great, and I'm really sad that they're never gonna bring that fucking game back.
Yeah, like one of the things that I never got a chance to play was Outbreak. So I'm watching videos of people playing Outbreak, and it seems like it's like a fun game.
Outbreak was fun,
Yeah.
and the problem is Capcom did not want to let you do voice chat,
Yeah,
which is really fucking annoying.
right.
But when you played Outbreak, it was holy fuck, it was
Right.
fun.
What about what about there was like that third person shooter style game? What's it called? Umbrella Conspiracy? I don't know what.
Oh
it's
yeah,
called.
those were like basically on the rail shooters,
Yeah,
which were
okay.
fun too.
Um,
Those were for the Wii, and then they ported
right.
them to the PS. Actually, I
3?
think they're on the PS4.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're
Maybe
on
we
the
should get 'em.
PS4,
Are
but
they co-op online?
I
or is
don't
it
know.
couch?
But you pretty much had to get the Move controllers for the PS4
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
because you gotta
You gotta
shoot the
this
screen.
thing.
Yeah. But they're fun.
Yeah.
I had them on the Wii.
What about that one where it's like Resident Evil 2, but it's like you can be like these weird mercenaries and like hunk at one point? I mean, I know I'm just describing Resident Evil 2.
That was Mercenaries in Resident Evil 2.
Well, there's like a Resident Evil 2 game that has more modern day graphics and kind of retells the story. And like I guess at one point you can actually kill Leon or Claire.
Oh, that was I
heard that didn't do well.
That was like a squad-based Resident Evil game. It was
Right.
called like Resident Evil Umbrella Corps.
Umbrella Corps, okay.
Yeah, and it didn't do very well because it's basically like it's. I heard it wasn't that great.
Oh.
It had a cool mechanic though. Like you can shoot people, and have them bleed out, and then zombies would attack them.
Oh. So that's
That
what I want to play like a Resident Evil Outbreak style game with like voice chat, obviously.
Yeah.
And like put a little story in there. I mean, you don't have to put much. It can be as convoluted as any of the Resident Evil games,
Yeah.
and movies and television. Or I guess there's no television series, but
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wish they would honestly do that. I wish
Yeah.
they would bring back Outbreak and just make it an online, like everyone fucking voice chats.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It'd be fucking fun as hell. But yeah, those Umbrella Conspiracy games, because there was 2 of them. Those are actually really good. Because I know Umbrella Conspiracy 2
Yeah.
essentially did an on-the-rail shooter of Resident Evil 2, which was actually
Right.
really fun.
And they also did one of Code Veronica.
Yeah, they did one called Veronica.
and
They
then
pretty much did on-the-rail shooters
Yeah.
for all of them. And then they had like a Wesker story.
Yeah, they had like some sort of like I remember that. And also they had like a sort of finale of like what happened to the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, pretty much. It
Yeah.
kind of filled the gap of like
Mhm.
what happened before Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. I mean, they can use the Resident Evil engine too, because it's like a first-person kind of
Yeah.
engine. I know they're doing the over-the-shoulder for Resident Evil 2, the remake, but like I was playing it, I was like, you know what, they could make this multiplayer and make it still horror.
Yeah.
I think it still works. Like it, like the original Doom, you could do co-op,
Yeah.
which I always wanted to do but never got a chance to do.
What?
Play co-op Doom, co-op Doom basically.
Yeah. I heard it was fun.
Yeah.
I wish the new Doom like let you do co-op.
Yeah, because like I like having like that squadron of like, I mean, I think in Ultimate Doom you can only have 2 people at one time playing the.
Yeah,
Co-op
I know.
version.
I know the new Wolfenstein that's supposed to come out next
Yeah.
year. That's gonna be a co-op.
Right.
So I actually want to check that out.
Right.
Maybe I'll rent that from GameFly. Bring it over. I think it's
Which-
gonna be split screen
Mhm.
co-op.
But yeah, Resident Evil the card game. It'll give you that sort of feel. You can do. I think right now that game costs up to $25 to $29, which I would say is more reasonable.
What is the original vanilla game? What
I have no idea. I think it's because the fact that it's out of print. That's the reason why it's so expensive.
But it's the same game, right?
It's the same game, but I bought it for $20. So I don't know why it's so expensive. This used to be available in Toys R Us, which is gone, by the way.
That's weird.
Yeah, I
Is
don't know.
there is something with the original release that's different than the new one? Did they do?
No, I mean, I think the newer ones, they add like different rules. Obviously, they have different characters as well. Like, they have like, the different versions of Leon and Chris Redfield and Claire. I think more of the main characters from the mainstay series is on there. But yeah, I don't know why they overpriced the original game. The only assumption I can assume is that it's just out of print. They're not making any more. Obviously, they're not making any more releases. I think with the release of I think this is all done in the interim between the release of Resident Evil 5, which I think is the last game they based any of the art on. I don't think there is any characters from Resident Evil 6. I do believe they actually incorporated Resident Evil Revelations, though, which I think came out before 6 or after 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, before 6, but after 5. Because I think you can be some of the characters from there. But beyond that, I don't think they've made any more characters other than the ones up to 5 and, possibly from Revelations. Which, I don't know, like, there were was there a new character in 6? Some kind of, like, enhanced dude?
In 6?
Yeah. Because there's a Leon campaign, a Chris campaign, and another guy campaign.
It's Sherry Birkin and this guy, I forgot what his name is, but he's supposed to be like Albert Wesker's son.
Oh, Albert Wesker has a son.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't incorporate 7 because that just came out pretty much. I'd be Ethan, just be a first person look from him, in his fist.
I want to be Zoe.
Zoe. What about Mia?
I want to be Mia.
I want to be Mia. I just want to look at Mia's face.
I want to be the dude who just punches everything. I still haven't gotten to that.
Oh, the uncle, yeah.
Yeah, the uncle who just punches everything.
He doesn't pick up a gun. He just punches people.
Yeah. I want to be the little girl who turns into an old lady and just destroys. Oh,
everything. Just
spoiler.
Why doesn't anyone love me? But yeah, I'd say definitely check out Resident Evil, the deck building game, if you can find it for cheap. Maybe you can find one of the expansion boxes, and it actually has the main game in there. So I believe all of these boxes are made to be standalone. I think the one with Outbreak will give you the card dividers, which is really helpful. Because I think I gave you Allies. I think is the one that I gave you.
I don't remember which one you gave me, but I actually really liked playing.
Oh, and you can play it single player too. So if you don't have friends.
Fucking losers.
Yeah. You can't. You can go to Guildhall, play it by yourself, all sad. I'll be there down the way.
Just call us up.
Eating potatoes.
Yeah, just call us up. We'll show up at Guildhall.
All right. But that is it with that.
We can go to Guildhall, and I can just tell them to blend some potatoes in the blender with some water, and that can be your drink and / meal.
That's actually so. With all this potato stuff, I might as well just say this. I'm doing this diet. It's the similar diet that Kevin Smith did. That's based on this guy named Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller. He wrote a book called How I Lost 100 pounds or more than 100 pounds. It's called Presto. Mm. And what he did was he incorporated this diet from this guy named Cray Ray, a friend of his in Vegas, who was a NASA scientist, but now studying. He's retired, but studying nutrition. And basically what he did was he put Penn Penn Jillette on the diet for 2 weeks, just eating potatoes. He couldn't cook them in butter or put butter on it. He couldn't cook it in shortening. He basically had to either bake it, steam it. I assume that if he had an air fryer, he could fry it with air. And I think Penn was 330 pounds. And he got down to 220 in a matter of, I think, 90 days. Mm-hmm. But the first 2 weeks was just a potato famine. That's what he called it. Because apparently, and I've experienced this firsthand, when you eat potatoes with nothing on them, you can eat about 1 potato, maybe 1.5 potato, and then you're just full. I don't know if it's a psychological thing. I've obviously have eaten more than that because I think a potato is only 50 calories. Mm-hmm. I can't eat anything else after that. I'm just I can eat more potatoes, but then it gets in your head well, I don't want another potato.
Yeah.
And so I'm just okay, well, I'll just stop eating. The other thing is that if you don't eat something that has oil, salt, alcohol is another thing. You're going to let go of a lot of your water retention weight. That's just going to go flushing down in a toilet or somewhere or sweating out of your skin. So you're probably going to, at most, lose about 20 pounds in the first week.
Maybe I should try the potato diet.
It sucks. I'm preparing. Okay, one of the things I did steam. I did baked. I did air fry. I got a potato slicer that can cut it into little French fry pieces, and I can put it in the air fryer. It doesn't really cook it the same because without the oil, doesn't give that kind of crunchy feel.
You know how they say air fryer just fries it with air, but there's somebody in there actually spraying oil on your stuff and frying it.
Yeah, it's just like a little dude. Yeah. Well, he's doing a bad job because it doesn't certainly taste like it.
How they turn out in the air fryer without any oil?
I mean, they're crunchy, but not in the same way as like a French fry.
Yeah.
But it's serviceable right now. I have to buy more potatoes, by the way. But I think like one of the other things I did was I took sweet potatoes, I steamed them like for a long time until they're really smushy. Then I pureed them and made it into sort of like a soupy substance. And like
so you can have sweet potatoes as well, right?
Yeah,
so
you have any kind of potatoes basically. You don't have to have like rustic potatoes. You just any type of potato. So the sweet potato, like that didn't taste awful. It actually tastes pretty good. I did the same thing with yellow potatoes. That's a little bit more bland. I tried cutting potatoes into like chip size and frying in the air fryer. That doesn't work. It just burns them without the oil on it. So yeah, that diet sucks, by the way. And I think Thursdays that'll be the end of the first week for me. Mm-hmm. So I can start actually putting seasoning on top of the potatoes. They recommend just like pepper or pepper-like seasoning, and then after that, I'm done with the diet. After that week.
Well, let me know what your progress is.
All right. I've lost 8 pounds in like 4 days.
That's good.
Yeah. Obviously, that's I think water weight, but. Yeah. It's something. At least I'm letting that go. A lot of people say like, what about the carbohydrates? Like, well, if I ate like 50 potatoes, that'd probably be a problem. But you can't eat 50 potatoes. Yeah. I can eat like 4.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing now. Is like I've had to adjust my eating to cut a lot of the carbs. So I still have carbs, but it's not as like I'm not fucking having pancakes and French toast. I'm not having pancakes or like French toast for breakfast, and then. Or, like, I'm not eating, like, a fucking giant plate of, like, hash browns with fucking toast on the side and all, which I love, but, can't necessarily do that anymore.
Right. I can eat a potato.
Actually, I think I know someone who's on the potato diet now or was on it because when you told me this, I thought back to the other day and I was like, wait, they were just nuking a fucking potato.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, maybe they're on the potato diet.
And the idiotic thing about this is I feel great.
Do you really?
Yeah, I just don't feel satisfied when I eat, but then I'm full, so I just kind of forget about it. I'll like play a video game or work on something. Yeah, I don't feel weak or anything like that. Maybe in the second week I'll probably feel that, but like I don't at this point.
See, that's the problem I have on the weekends when I'm at home with the kids is like I'll eat breakfast and I'll eat like a big breakfast, but it's mainly protein. It's mainly like I'll just eat a bunch of hard-boiled eggs and like uncured turkey bacon or like ham. Yeah. And then 3 hours later, my kids are like, "Oh, we're hungry." I'm like, "Fuck." Yeah. So that's kind of what kills me on the weekends, but I think I'm actually gonna get a bike.
I got one too. If you wanna ride the bike trail. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'll ride
actually,
over.
Tiny Dinosaurs wants to do that too.
I know, I really do. I really do. Yeah, maybe that'll be a thing.
Yeah, and then I can eat potatoes on the way.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of potatoes.
Maybe I'll join you. Maybe I'll join you on this potato diet.
I mean, you can actually. If you want to do it for a week, I'm going to do it for another week. So maybe I should do that. Like Thursday, that's when I'm still gonna be doing it. Except I can add seasoning to the potatoes. Not salt. Basically anything but salt or. I guess maybe garlic powder. I don't know.
You can always get that Mrs. Dash, that like no sodium or low sodium Mrs. Dash.
I was thinking about that. I was looking up stuff that didn't have salt in it. And I was actually surprised that Mrs. Dash doesn't have salt in it.
No, that's what a lot of people who have high blood pressure, they always suggest that they get something like that, like Mrs. Dash, because it's really, really low sodium or no sodium. It's mainly just dried up herbs. Yeah. It's just a dried herb mix. Oh, and they're like, it's really flavorful, and it's like no salt or low salt. They also have one thing that's disgusting though is salt substitute. You ever had that?
Yes, I have. It's so bitter.
It's horrible. Yeah. It's fucking horrible. If you think artificial sweetener is bad, artificial salt is even fucking worse. Yeah. Like, I'm really sensitive to artificial sweetener. Like, I hate artificial sweetener because I don't like that chemical aftertaste.
Yeah, I mean,
I've gotten kind of used to Diet Coke a little bit.
Right.
It still bothers me, but I can do Diet Coke, but only in like small doses. But man, artificial salt like fucking sucks.
Yeah. So with this diet too, you can drink as much coffee as you want, as much sparkling water as you want, even if it's like a as long as it doesn't it has 0 calories and 0 salt and all that other stuff, you're fine. That was like sort of a deal breaker. I'm like, can I drink coffee black? Which I love drinking coffee black, and they said yes.
I've actually gone on the black coffee chain, but I had to cut back on the caffeine because I was having some heart issues again, or I was feeling like I was gonna have heart issues again.
Oh, I just smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
That saved Kevin Smith, by the way.
You know what saves me though? You know what I think what really has saved me in my life though is I'm not really a big drinker and I don't smoke.
That's right. I don't smoke either.
And especially beer.
Cigarettes.
Like I don't really like beer.
Yeah.
So I have friends who love drinking beer, and that's kind of been what's killing them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I don't really often drink beer or alcohol. When I do, I enjoy it, but like it's only when I go to like places like Guildhall or 20 Darts Away. Like I have like beer in my fridge, but it was only because my friend Cotterin came over because he likes drinking when we were watching the wrestling pay-per-view, and I'll drink with him. But then he leaves it in my fridge, and then like there's like 6 left over, and so he'll come back and you didn't drink these? I'm like, no man, I don't really drink.
We should make a deck building game called the Potato Diet.
It's gonna be an awful bland diet.
No, we'll have different potatoes. We'll have like russets and like fingerling potatoes.
All potatoes are bland.
Fingerling potatoes and fucking sweet potatoes and russets and.
One of the things is that by the time this diet's done, it says that you'll have a good appreciation on like food that doesn't use a lot of oils and salt. Because what Penn Jillette says in this book is that like he says that he went to like he does have his cheat days, and like every 2 weeks he has like a cheat day where you can eat anything, whether it be an animal product or not. He does consist a diet of just like vegetarian like / vegan, but he calls it like almost a treacherous vegan because he still will eat the occasional meal that has like animal products and meat. But like he says that like he was very surprised to go to a restaurant and then bite into like a pizza, finding out like how salty and oily it was.
Yeah.
Then he went to a vegan restaurant that this was part of his I guess like normal day. It wasn't one of his cheat days. He bit into it. He's very surprised how equally salty and oily it was. It was although it was vegan, it still didn't taste healthy.
The thing with because I actually went to a Thai vegan restaurant and I actually had chicken substitute.
Yeah.
Which is actually really good. But their pad thai was super fucking oily.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's so oily. And I think that's the thing with a lot of these vegan places is
they just compensate for more oil because they have no meat oil.
Yeah, they'll compensate for oil for like other like healthier oils, but still really really oily or a lot of salt because they got to compensate for flavor.
Yeah.
Now with the potato diet, can you only eat potato? Can you you can't add like onions or anything?
Nope. You have to just do potatoes for a week, and then the second week you have to just.
Because like if it was just potatoes and I can have like onions and garlic, I would just be eating fucking onions, potatoes, and garlic all the time. But
well, then that'd be the onion, potatoes, and garlic diet.
You know what? I think I'm gonna start that. At least I'm not allergic to onions.
Right.
I know people who are allergic to onions, and it fucking sucks.
I had a friend who was a wife allergic to garlic, and like I was just like, well,
wow.
And she was garlic used often in Mexican food because she was Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember I ordered garlic fries, and they asked, well, her husband's like, can I ask you to order something else? And I'm just like, well, she's not gonna eat them. I'm gonna eat them. It's like, oh, the smell and stuff. And the wife basically says, no, it's okay. It's like, dude, like, I'm not gonna shove it down her throat.
Yeah.
Like, she has to be exposed to be allergic to something. Like, if I'm near, like, I'm slightly allergic to grass. If I'm near grass, then I'll just walk over it. As long as I don't roll in it, I'm fine.
Not if you're like rubbing it on yourself,
rubbing on my crotch and stuff like that. Then that's a problem.
Or like you're mainlining it, where you're just crushing it and just snorting it.
Yeah.
Through.
Obviously, but like if I'm walking on top of it with shoes, then I'm fine.
Yeah. Good luck with the potato diet. Maybe I'll try it.
If I lose 30 pounds, I'll say it worked. If I lose 20, it was okay. But I probably will never do it again. You know what? I'll probably never do it again after this.
I've wanted to try some of those kind of like
holistic, kind of like not holistic, I guess.
Kind of like fad diets.
Fad diets, yeah.
And one of the ones that somebody wanted me to try was the juice diet, and I was like, no, because I
tried that.
That would destroy my system. I would just fucking have diarrhea all the fucking time.
No, that's what happened to me. Yeah, I don't like the juice diet. Tiny Dinosaurs did the juice diet, and he was always like weak and stuff. But I don't know. Potatoes.
Yeah,
they're a funny vegetable. That's what Penn Jillette
Well,
says.
when you're off the diet, let me know, and we'll go to Guildhall.
Right. We will.
We will celebrate by getting nothing but potato chips.
Oh, friggin'! I'm gonna eat like that popcorn, and I'm gonna drink so much alcohol.
The duck fat popcorn.
Duck fat popcorn.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. Okay, follow us at Incognito and at Chucking Dice. Please share, like, and subscribe, and always leave comments. Vic, thanks for joining us. I know that you're listening to this.
Thanks for joining us, Vic.
Vic is number one, by the way.
As always, you rule.
You rule, Vic. You rule.
And if you have any more fad diets you would like us to try, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, and we'll destroy our system for you guys.
I think that should be a new thing. We just have people suggest fad diets.
And then we can kill ourselves?
Yeah, we can off ourselves.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and keep it rolling.
Thanks, guys.